Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am very excited today to be sharing with you my gallery at Satellite Project Space in London called Linear Experiences. This past year has really opened my eyes to what interests me. As someone who works a lot in their head and their sketchbook, I consider myself to be a conceptual artist. My interests this past year seem to really focus on how line interacts with viewers and the space it's in. Always struggling with how to create a strong subject to enhance my concepts, I decided to use that to my advantage, and I was going to work conceptually going into the gallery. I decided to focus on the location as a whole, as well as the pandemic having a very big impact on how viewers and consumers will interact with the art. Changing dependent on the speed that the viewer is walking, the distance that the viewer is from the building as they're looking at it, as well as the time of day that they are experiencing it. And I thought that if I couldn't create an experience within the gallery, I could create an experience for people walking by. Focusing on the speed, whether you're in a car, running, walking, or stopped, this gallery would have an experience different for each person. Using the electrical tape to show my process, each day that I have the gallery, the black lines seem to grow longer and closer to entangling with the other art projects. With this gallery, I had originally wanted to include 2 pencil artworks, and as I was just doing measurements, I had used the electrical tape to try and find the perfect spot, using squares symmetrical across the room to try and find a perfect location. That didn't take away from any of my previous art that I had been working with. And as I was looking at these empty squares, trying to decide where they belonged, I felt as though that they belonged more so than the art that I had done previously. I felt that the art that I had done previously didn't go between the 2 that I'm doing now, because it was such a precursor to helping me become the artist I am today. So taking that step forward, I decided that I would just use the electrical tape to surround the borders of these works. So if I, as the artist, wasn't too excited and keen to look into the frames, then maybe the frames was the most important part, and trying to become a more conceptual artist without focusing so much on subject, I felt this was a perfect opportunity to explore this. Which moves me to my third and final installation in the gallery. The idea stemmed from months ago when I was experimenting with ink on acetate and the shadows it created, which kind of led me into the direction of creating those shadows using glass and enjoying how the different tones of light created different shadows and experiences for the viewers. I went into this gallery with an LED flashlight and 5 different vases to reflect different images. Now at this point, I have tried lamps, light bulbs, and I know that flashlights kind of work the best. So going into the gallery, wasn't I shocked when I got into the gallery and learned that my flashlight was not even projecting across the entire room. So now I know what I want to do, but I'm back at square one on how to do it. So I went into the back room and I found a projector. I set it up and I was experimenting with a white background, using display walls and platforms to play with the shadows and the space. I then incorporated the glass and love how it interrupted and influenced the lines cast throughout the room. Now, the projector was still on and I was using my laptop, just searching some stuff, and I was really enjoying how these vertical and horizontal digital lines came through on the projector and refracted through the glass. So, that brought me to my final decision to my project. Now, since I've been working with line since the beginning of the year, I had a lot of sketches attempting to understand how line worked. And going through these and using those as my projections, I really felt that the space was warped, the lines changed and created an experience for the viewer. Depth was created using the space. The display, walls, and platforms created shadows. And through a simple line work drawing, giving truth to the material that I was using, which was glass and projectors, allowing the glass to warp and change the direction of the refraction, and the projector allowing some shadows to create different contrasts using colors within the LED lights. The gallery as a whole shows a visual representation of my thought process, the building essentially being a reflection of me as an artist. Please come out and create a memory at my Linear Experiences Art Gallery. Thank you so much, and have a lovely rest of your day.